Hey, so if you checked out the market data from last month, you may have seen that the typical price of a home between August and September dropped nearly 3%. I thought the market was good. I thought things were going real well. Dan, you've said that it wasn't going to collapse. And here the median sale price alone dropped nearly 3% from August to September. Is this a sign? Is this it? All the articles I've seen about the big fall is coming, the big collapse is coming. Gather your shekels and put them under the mattress. Are we there? Probably not. So here's something to bear in mind. The median sale price, or what I call typical sale price, for September was $510,000 across all properties across the Portland area. Now, yes, that's down almost 3% from August. But is this cause for concern? Well, did the market drop and collapse last year? It did not. Yet, if you take a look at the chart here, you'll see that prices dropped last September too. Excuse me. The median price and the average price both were lower in September than they were prior. And it happened the year before that. In fact, there's a seasonal price difference pretty much every year. But if you go back over the last 10, 12 years, hardly anyone could argue that every fall the market just comes to a screeching halt and people are having to sell their houses at fire sale prices. Because that's not happening. It hasn't been happening. Now, unfortunately, there's not really any study to suggest why at the end of summer, as we shift into fall, that those price levels are down. But it's easy to assume that, well, that's because every year the market cools off and there's not as much demand and so forth. But realistically, if you look at 2020, no one's going to tell you that, gee, we had a demand problem. We didn't. But still, the prices went down a little bit. It's possible, and like I said, there's no real good data on this, but part of the possibility is that there are some houses and some property types that help raise the price a little that are sold primarily during the summer months. Some properties, I tell owners, we only want to sell in the spring and summer. We don't want to sell the other time of year because of the type of property it is and how we want people to experience it and engage it. These tend to be farms, ranches, maybe places with really expansive gardens where they need to be seen and walked, which is easier in our part of the country in the spring and summer. So it's possible that there's an effect of that kind of across the marketplace and that helps bring prices up. That means that your house in particular wasn't worth more in July than it is today. It means that across the market, there was a trend of where the prices were. So if you look at your house, you're still up over a year ago, and you're probably still up over a month or two ago. Prices in September were 13% higher than they were in September last year. This does not seem like cause of great concern. 13% is really good. But yeah, back in May, prices were up 20% versus May the year before. So you say prices have dropped 7%? No. But appreciation has slowed down. Prices aren't going up at this trajectory now. They're going up at this trajectory, or this trajectory, or this trajectory. It's not real clear yet where that's going to settle. It's not going to be at this trajectory. So we need to remember that there's always a seasonal shift, and that yes, we are seeing a little bit of a slow up. Across the board, we have fewer buyers going through houses, not just me personally, but we have on all houses for sale, or across the market, not all houses, but across the market, we're seeing fewer showings. We're seeing houses on the market a little bit longer. We're seeing occasional price adjustments, or actually more frequent price adjustments, something we've seen for the last few months. Because again, as the trajectory goes from this to something maybe more like this or like this, houses that are priced on this trajectory are going to have to be corrected. But bear in mind that if you see houses in your neighborhood that went up for $750,000 and have now dropped to $7.25 and then sold for $710, that doesn't mean that the price went down $40,000. Because it's probable that if you look at recent sale data, the projected sale price for that house was going to be anywhere from $7 to $715, and they got $710, as an example. So that $750 was really shooting for this projection, which just isn't there now, or that trend line isn't there now. So if you see changes in your area and you notice that, wait, prices aren't doing what they were doing before, that's a sign that things are slowing up and coming down a little bit. That's not cause for concern. That's not the big market collapse. This sort of calming down a little, it's not happening everywhere equally, but this is something that we have expected to see. We've been calling for this for quite a while. Took a little longer than I thought, but we've been calling for it for a while, and we expect to see that trend continue throughout the fall and winter, and then it might pick back up a little bit more in the spring and summer next year. but the market remains healthy and it remains strong. It's just not on that same projection. We don't have 20% year over year growth for a period of time like we did earlier in the year. But we had to know we weren't going to keep that pace forever. So if you have any questions, reach out, let me know. But again, we don't see anything to suggest that this is the start of the big downfall. So if you see a link or so forth that says this is it, prices went down last month, bear in mind that's accurate depending on how you measure the data. But your house today is not worth less money than it was 2 months ago. That's a take-home message. Reach out if you have any other questions, and in the meantime, have a great day.